To reduce the effects of headlight glare at night, you should look A. Straight ahead. B. Over your shoulder. C. At the center of the road. D. To the right edge of the road. D. To the right edge of the road. If oncoming drivers do not dim their headlights for you, keep your eyes on the right side of the road ahead. Do not look directly at the oncoming headlights because the glare may blind you for several seconds. When you see an emergency vehicle with flashing lights, you must A. Slow down and keep moving in your lane. B. Keep driving in your lane. C. Pull to the right curb and stop. D. Stop exactly where you are. C. Pull to the right curb and stop. When you see an emergency vehicle using its lights or hear it using its siren, you must immediately pull over to the curb or side of the road and stop. A person walking with a white cane or guide dog is likely to be A. A deaf person. B. A person involved with a traffic study. C. A blind person. D. None of the above. C. A blind person. Drivers must always yield the right-of-way to a pedestrian when the pedestrian is a blind person who is using a white cane or guide dog. When entering a highway from an entrance ramp, you should generally A. Enter above the speed of traffic to get ahead. B. Enter slowly to avoid other vehicles. C. Stop first, then slowly enter traffic. D. Accelerate to the speed of traffic. D. Accelerate to the speed of traffic. Entrance ramps for highways often have acceleration lanes. When merging with traffic from an acceleration lane, you should put your signal on, look for an opening in traffic, accelerate up to the speed of traffic, and merge into an opening in traffic.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
Which of the following statements is true? A. White lines separate lanes of traffic moving in the same direction. B. White lines separate lanes of traffic moving in opposite directions. C. Yellow lines separate lanes of traffic moving in the same direction. D. None of the above. A. White lines separate lanes of traffic moving in the same direction. White lines separate lanes of traffic moving in the same direction. Only cross white lane lines if the lines are broken. A flashing red light on a traffic signal means A. The same thing as a stop sign. B. The traffic signal is broken. C. You do not have to come to a complete stop. D. Driving conditions are dangerous. A. The same thing as a stop sign. A flashing red light means the same thing as a stop sign. If you encounter a flashing red light, you should come to a complete stop, yield to appropriate traffic and pedestrians, and only proceed when it is safe to do so. Drowsy drivers A. Should drink strong black coffee to stay awake. B. Can drive so poorly that they may appear to be drunk. C. Can stay alert by opening a window and turning up the radio. D. Are usually only older drivers. B. Can drive so poorly that they may appear to be drunk. Drowsiness can make people drive so poorly that they appear to be drunk. Opening a window, turning on the radio, or drinking coffee is not enough to make a drowsy driver alert to roadway hazards. You are driving on a divided multi-lane highway and see or hear the signal of an approaching emergency vehicle. You should A. Disregard the signal if there are other lanes available for the emergency vehicle. B. Stop as quickly as you can. C. Slow down, move your vehicle to provide a clear path for the emergency vehicle, and stop. D. Increase your speed to get out of the way of the emergency vehicle. C. Slow down, move your vehicle to provide a clear path for the emergency vehicle, and stop. If you hear the siren or see the flashing lights of an emergency vehicle, you must slow down, provide a clear path for the vehicle, and stop. Don't try to outdrive the emergency vehicle. To turn left from multi-lane, one-way streets and highways, you should start from A. The middle of the intersection. B. The right lane. C. The left lane. D. Any lane. C. The left lane. To turn left from multi-lane streets and highways, start from the left lane. What may help drivers conserve gasoline? A. Sitting in their driveways with their cars running. B. Accelerating quickly. C. Slowing down gradually. D. Braking abruptly. C. Slowing down gradually. Every time you have to stop quickly, it takes time and fuel to accelerate and get your vehicle back up to the speed of traffic. Drivers who look far ahead of their vehicles can slow down gradually or change lanes to avoid unnecessary braking, leading to better gas mileage. This sign means A. Watch for drunk drivers. B. Curves ahead. C. Slippery when wet. D. Apply your brakes quickly. C. Slippery when wet. This sign warns that the road is slippery when wet. Bicyclists A. May ride side by side on roadways. B. May ride two abreast on bike paths, except where signs indicate otherwise. C. Have the right of way over pedestrians. D. May ride attached to a vehicle. B. May ride two abreast on bike paths, except where signs indicate otherwise. On the roadway, bicyclists must ride single file. They may ride two abreast on a bicycle lane or path if it is wide enough that doing so will not impede traffic. Drivers who have consumed alcohol before getting behind the wheel A. Are always aware of the risks they are taking. B. Do not have sufficient control over their bodies and minds or the vehicles being driven. C. Are better drivers because they are more careful than sober drivers. D. Have quicker reaction times. B. Do not have sufficient control over their bodies and minds or the vehicles being driven. Alcohol is a depressant that negatively affects judgment, vision, concentration, understanding of reality, and reaction time. It is never safe to consume alcohol in any amount before getting behind the wheel of a car. Car drivers should know that large trucks A. Have large blind spots. B. Can stop more quickly than passenger vehicles. C. Do not need more room to maneuver than passenger vehicles. D. All of the above. A. Have large blind spots. A large truck has large blind spots to the front, sides, and rear of the vehicle. Avoid lingering in these areas. Because of their larger size and weight, trucks require more room to maneuver and stop than passenger vehicles. When two vehicles enter an intersection from different highways at the same time, which vehicle must yield the right of way? A. Either one. B. The vehicle on the left. C. The vehicle on the right. D. Neither. B. The vehicle on the left. At intersections that are controlled by signs or signals and at intersections that are uncontrolled, the driver on the left must yield the right of way to the driver on the right when two vehicles arrive to the intersection at the same time. A good rule to remember for passing is: A. Pass on the right whenever possible. B. Drive with the flow of traffic and pass only as needed. C. Try to get to the front of any slow-moving traffic so that you can see better. D. Always flash your lights and sound your horn to alert other drivers to your intentions. On a road which has no sidewalks, a pedestrian should walk on the A. Side of the road which has the lightest traffic. B. Same side of the road on which traffic is moving. C. Side of the road facing oncoming traffic. D. Side of the road which has the heaviest traffic. C. Side of the road facing oncoming traffic. Pedestrians should walk on the side of the road facing the traffic in the lane nearest them. Round signs indicate: A. No passing zones. B. School zones. C. Upcoming railroad crossings. D. Hospitals. C. Upcoming railroad crossings. Round signs warn drivers of an upcoming railroad crossing area. Drivers should use extra caution when approaching a railroad crossing. Safety belts: A. Should be worn at all times when driving or riding in a vehicle. B. Should be worn only when traveling at high speeds. C. Should be worn loosely. D. Can only prevent drivers from injury. A. Should be worn at all times when driving or riding in a vehicle. Safety belts are life belts. They must be worn at all times when driving or riding in a vehicle. They are the most important personal safety item available in any vehicle. Increasing your vehicle's speed. A. Increases your field of vision. B. Decreases your field of vision. C. Makes it easier to see cross traffic. D. Has no effect on your field of vision. B. Decreases your field of vision. The faster you drive, the smaller your field of vision becomes. As your speed increases and your field of vision decreases, you must be extra alert to potential hazards. This road sign means: A. Hunting area. B. State park. C. Deer crossing. D. Wildlife preserve. C. Deer crossing. This sign warns that deer cross the roadway in the area. You should slow down, be alert, and be ready to stop. This road sign means: A. Intersection ahead. B. Steep grade ahead. C. Winding road. D. Merging traffic. B. Steep grade ahead. This sign indicates that a steep downhill grade is ahead. A steady yellow light at an intersection means: A. Go. B. Yield to other cars. C. Slow down and prepare to stop. D. Stop. C. Slow down and prepare to stop. A steady yellow light indicates that a steady red light will soon appear. If you are driving toward an intersection and a yellow light appears, slow down and prepare to stop. If you are already within the intersection or cannot stop safely before entering the intersection, continue through carefully. Two vehicles are driving side by side ahead of your vehicle and you are in a hurry. You should A. Drive closely behind the vehicle in the left lane and flash your headlights. B. Drive closely behind the vehicle in the right lane. C. Drive in either lane with a 2-second time interval between you and the vehicle ahead. D. Quickly switch back and forth between the lanes. C. Drive in either lane with a 2-second time interval between you and the vehicle ahead. Always allow at least 2 seconds of space between you and the vehicle in front of you. This allows you room to react to the actions of other drivers. You must always leave adequate space between vehicles, regardless of if you are in a hurry or not. You are entering a crowded freeway. What should you do to merge into traffic? A. Use your side and rear view mirrors and check your blind spots. B. Use the acceleration lane to adjust your speed to match the speed of freeway traffic. C. Yield to traffic already on the freeway. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Use the entrance ramp to accelerate to the speed of freeway traffic and yield to traffic already using the freeway. Before entering traffic, use your mirrors and check your blind spots to verify that you have room to safely merge. The correct way to use a freeway exit ramp is to A. Slow down before entering the exit ramp. B. Slow down once moving onto the exit ramp. C. Keep your speed constant once in the exit ramp. D. Pass slower traffic in the exit ramp. B. Slow down once moving onto the exit ramp. When using a freeway exit ramp, do not slow down until you move onto the exit ramp. If you're going to turn left onto a one-way street, you should complete the turn into A. The right lane. B. The lane closest to your previous lane. C. Either lane. D. Neither lane. B. The lane closest to your previous lane. You should always turn from the lane that is closest to the direction you want to go. Turn into the lane closest to your previous lane. If your vehicle begins to skid, you should A. Overcorrect. B. Turn your steering wheel into traffic. C. Turn your steering wheel in the direction you want to go. D. Release the steering wheel. C. Turn your steering wheel in the direction you want to go. If your vehicle begins to skid, remain calm. Steer in the direction that you want to go and try not to overcorrect. If a vehicle using high beams comes toward you, you should look toward. Fill in the blank. Of the road. A. Either side. B. The center. C. The right side. D. The left side. C. The right side. If a vehicle approaching you is using its high beams and fails to dim them, you should glance toward the right side of the road. This will keep you from being blinded by the other vehicle's headlights and will allow you to see well enough to stay on your course until the vehicle passes. If you are involved in a serious motor vehicle crash, A. Stop. B. Call the police. C. Determine if anyone is injured. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. If you are involved in a crash, move your vehicle off of the road and stop, if possible. If anyone is injured, call 911 and provide appropriate help. You must report the crash to law enforcement if there is an injury, a death, and/or more than $1,000 in property damage, or more than $200 worth of damage made to non-vehicle government property, such as signs or guardrails.